that show a single path for any floor are called food chains. For example, the grazing food web, we might find the following thing: oak leaves, caterpillars, mice, and hogs. In the terrestrial food web, we might find the following thing: detritus, earthworms, beetles, and shrews are composed of all the organisms that feed a particular link in a food chain. For example, in one grazing food web, the trees, the grass, and flowers are producers, so this will be considered the first trophic level. The first series of animals are primary consumers, so that will be considered the second trophic level. And the next group of animals are secondary consumers, that will be the third trophic level. Some food chains can go beyond the three trophic levels if there is enough energy available at the producer base. Only 10% of the energy of one trophic level is available to the next trophic level. For example, if a herbivore population consumes 1,000 kilograms of plant material, only about 100 kilograms is converted to herbivore's tissue, 10 kilograms to the first level of carnivores, and only 1 kilogram to a second level of carnivores. This general 10% rule explains why so few carnivores can be supported in a food web. Ecological pyramid, the flow of energy would largely lose losses between successive trophic levels. The number of organisms multiplied by the weight of an organic matter contained in one organism. One would expect the biomass of producers to be greater than that of herbivores, and that of herbivores to be greater than that of carnivores. However, in aquatic ecosystems, the herbivores may have a greater biomass than producers, and that's because algae are the only producers. Geochemical cycles. Pathways by which chemicals circulate through the ecosystem have both living, so biotic, and non-living, abiotic components, and these can be gaseous or sedimentary. Gaseous cycles are the elements that return to and withdrawn from the atmosphere as a gas, for example, carbon and the nitrogen cycle. Cycle. The element is absorbed from the soil by plant roots, passed to heterotrophs, and then returned to the soil by decomposers. An example of this is phosphorus cycle. Reservoir, a source of chemicals that are unavailable to producers. For example, carbon found in calcium carbonate shells on the ocean. A source from which organisms can take chemicals, for example, atmosphere or soil. Chemicals move along food chains in a biotic community. Human activity removes chemicals from reservoirs and exchange pools and release them to the biotic community. This way, human activities upset the normal balance of nutrients in the environment, resulting in pollution. Hydrologic cycle. Evaporations. Some rays cause fresh water to evaporate from seawater, leaving the salts behind. Transpiration. Evaporation of water from plants. Condensation. A gas is changed into a liquid. So water condenses and it enters the atmosphere. The condensed water may be then fall into precipitation, so for example rain, snow, sleet, hail, or fog. Water that precipitates over the land follows different routes. Because land lies above sea level, gravity eventually turns all fresh water to the sea. Runoff. Precipitation that does not enter the ground, but flows directly into the streams, lakes, wetlands, or the ocean. Some water sinks or percolates into the ground, forming groundwater. The top of the saturation zone. Aquifers. Roll layers that contain water and releasing to the wells and springs. Are refilled when rainfall and melted snow seep into the soil. With the water cycle in three ways: by withdrawing water from aquifers, clearing vegetation from land, and building roads and buildings that prevent percolation and increase runoff, interfering with the natural process to purify water, and adding pollutants such as sewage and chemicals to the water. Withdrawals from aquifers that exceed any possibility of recharge. Known in some parts of the United States, specifically arid west and southern Florida. In these locations, the groundwater levels are dropping, so residents may run out of groundwater in a few years. As the exchange pool to the carbon cycle. Organisms in both terrestrial and aquatic ecosystems exchange carbon dioxide with the atmosphere. On land, plants take up carbon dioxide from the air, so With photosynthesis, they convert carbon into nutrients used by autotrophs and heterotrophs. When organisms conduct cellular respiration, carbon is returned to the atmosphere as carbon dioxide. In ecosystems, the exchange of carbon dioxide with the atmosphere is indirect. Carbon dioxide from the air combines with water to produce bicarbonate ions. This is a source of carbon from aquatic producers. When aquatic producers respire, the carbon dioxide gives off becomes bicarbonate. The amount of bicarbonate ions in the water is equilibrium with the amount of the carbon dioxide in the air. Dead organisms serve as a reservoir for the carbon cycle. Ordinarily, decomposition of plants and animals return carbon dioxide to the atmosphere. Plants and animals remains that don't decompose are transformed into coal, oil, and natural gas, such as, for example, fossil fuels. For carbons is the inorganic carbonate that accumulates in limestone. Many marine organisms have calcium carbonate shells that remains in ocean sediments long after they die. Geological forces change that sediment into limestone.